A new professional association of lawyers, different from the Nigerian Bar Association, has been established. Well, the association, known as the Law Society of Nigeria, is led by leading insolvency practitioner Kunle Ogumba. But in a swift reaction, a senior lawyer, Richard Omar Ahonarogo, objected to the announcement, saying the executive committee announced by Douglas Obankwa is not known to LSN. He said the re-emergence of the erstwhile LSN, originally registered by the Corporate Affairs Commission on December 28, 1994, and its purported national executives were unknown. The legal practitioners in Nigeria had been hitherto regulated solely under the umbrella of the Nigerian Bar Association, founded in 1933.
Arise News analyst Frank Tietie, who is also a lawyer, joins us now for this conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me ask you and put you on the spot first before my question. Are you for LSN or for NBA?
Well, I'm currently a member of the NBA.
Great, okay.
And I've not been fully briefed about the LSN.
Okay, great. Okay, and let me ask you, I wonder if lawyers are being inspired by politics and politicians with factions. But on a serious note, what has necessitated LSN, in your own opinion?
Oh, well, there's been a clamor for reforms in the legal profession in general. But the LSN is a matter of history, given the crisis, unprecedented crisis of 1992, involving the group's personalities like Priscilla Kuye, Ganifa Emi, and Charles Idehe, and a lot more bar leaders who actually threw the NBA into a period of confusion where government took it over, and then it actually went into a temporary extinction before it got resolved. So the LSN at that time was was formed by a group of lawyers thought to be on a rescue mission to see that probably the dominance and the fact that there is only one association was creating too much problems for lawyers at that time. But those issues were quickly resolved, and the LSN actually didn't see the light of day. So the NBA so far has performed very well. It has weathered the storms. It has gone through several reforms, several amendments in its laws and its rules to enable it meet the aspirations of lawyers and actually to serve the interests of the bar and the legal profession. Okay,
so, well, they say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So apparently, according to LSN, it's saying it emerged to redefine the ideas of the founding fathers of legal profession. What exactly were those ideals, and how do they differ from what today's NBA is, giving to lawyers or Nigerians for that matter?
There's a predominance of politics in the current NBA and the way it operates. A lot of considerations of regional politics and aspirations and interests of persons who actually, some who use it as a springboard for further political aspirations. Bayo Joe is an example of an NBA president. After winning the election, he was immediately appointed by the president at that time, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, to be the Attorney General of the Federation. So the NBA, as it has been for a long time, has been enmeshed in national politics, neglecting the interest of lawyers, abandoning the development of the profession in a way and manner that it will improve the welfare of lawyers and increase the standard of practice. But for the recent sterling performance of Olumide Akpata in his term as president, which focused more on lawyers' welfare, professional development, the NBA has been more of politics than anything else.
So if Akpata achieved all of this that you said, I mean, why LSN? Why parallel? I mean, they are saying it's in line with international best practice. I wonder what you have to say about that.
Okay, even though Akpata focused on law development, the interest of lawyers, and he's been hailed across the regional sections in the law that's in the NBA. Even in his tenure, you saw a lot of controversial positions he held, whether they're against the Attorney General of the Federation or against the Chairman of the Body of Benchers, Chief Wole Onalipeku, SAN. Those were not very palatable issues that must have stirred a lot of discontentment, in some quarters against the leadership of the NBA. All those should have actually elicited the need for reforms and not necessarily backing a parallel association that will whittle down the influence and powers of the NBA.
Okay. There have been reactions. I do have one from the chairman of the Board of Trustees for the NBA, Olisa Agbakuba, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. And he's saying it's completely illegal and contrary to the laws of Nigeria. They recognize the NBA as the only constitutional body of lawyers. And just to add to that, isn't it true that the NBA is statutory in the composition of, for instance, the NJC, the SJC, the SJCs, that's at the state level? And if the law expressly states that some members of the NBA must be part of the composition of these bodies, where does that leave the LSN?
There's a whole lot of politics involved here. So we have a Legal Practitioners Act that expressly recognizes the Nigerian Bar Association as the only association of lawyers to be.
So the LSN is illegal as it stands?
Not at all illegal. Let's understand it. There's a law that is higher than the Legal Practitioners Act of Nigeria, which is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And Section 40 gives any group of persons the right to form an association.
Okay.
What is very important and very controversial at this point is what legal basis is the LSN? Nobody knows whether the LSN has been registered by the Corporate Affairs Commission of Nigeria. If that is the case, there is nothing any other person can do, because the Corporate Affairs Commission is central to the legality, the incorporation.
You don't say they were registered. In our intro, we did say they were registered in 1994, December 28th.
Well,
that's the previous
by the Corporate Affairs Commission.
That's interesting, because that's a very controversial matter, because even the NBA at the time struggled to define its legal status until it approached the Corporate Affairs Commission for its registration. So we don't know that particular position now. So there is urgent need for the Corporate Affairs Commission to confirm the legal status of the LSN. If indeed it is registered, then you see senior and very prominent lawyers like Richard Ahonorogo making this kind of assertions should not be taken lightly. It shows that there is need. Nobody can make speculations at this time, but to check clearly with the Corporate Affairs Commission whether or not LSN is registered. If it is registered, then it may have to face the real issue, because such kind of breaking up of organizations like the NBA is just a precursor to actually approaching the National Assembly to validate it with a law, as the way we saw the emergence of Association of Nigerian National Accountants of Nigeria, which challenged the dominance of ICANN. And as we speak, there are parallel associations, and then people can now choose. So what we may be approaching, because when you hear Chief Wole Onalipeku in the wake of the launch of the opening of the building of the body of benchers, proudly saying that he is looking forward to the amendment of the Legal Practitioners Act. Now, with the intention, because it has clearly been mooted in the amendment, that a separate other associations can possibly be registered along the existence of the NBA. Okay, so that amendment has not yet happened. Right. So this reawakening of the LSN movement may just be towards drumming the beats for the emergence, or for the legal recognition of it, either by law or through the amendment that is coming.
Now, speaking of body of benchers, I mean, the LSN says it has, introduced itself to the body of benchers and expecting their nod. How exactly will the body of benchers be responding to this?
We expect the chairman to respond, but the body of benchers may not be the appropriate body to recognize it. What the body of benchers is responsible for is actually calling members, admitting members to the Nigerian Bar. This is a matter that has to do with law, pure law. The General Counsel of the Bar that is supposed to respond, because it's supposed to manage the affairs of the NBO or the Association of Lawyers, has not yet responded. It's chaired by the Attorney General of the Federation, who himself doesn't appear to be quite happy with the way the NBA has been operated, because at the time he unilaterally made the rules of professional conduct, which was contrary to the position of the law. And then the NBA swiftly, one of the members, I think Monde Obani, swiftly went to court, to the Federal High Court, and got an order nullifying his amendment. The Attorney General is appears to be aloof and removed.
Right.
And again, it's going to be quite difficult for the LSN because I can only practice law if I've paid my my professional fees, and then the MBA issues to me a stamp and a seal. So, but nothing stops LSN from operating, because under our constitution, it can actually operate as an organization or association that wants to improve or the well-being of lawyers, to fill the gaps where the MBA is actually failing.
Okay, that's a good place to leave it. Frank Tietie, Arise News analyst, thank you very much for joining us.